Imagine living in a country where the lights go out randomly, grocery stores are empty, and uncertainty hangs in the air like a storm cloud. Sounds like a scene from a dystopian novel, right? Well, for millions, it's reality. Today, we're diving into the 10 fastest collapsing countries. Each is facing a unique storm of economic and social chaos that's pushing it toward the edge. Buckle up. These stories will leave you questioning what keeps a country strong and how quickly it can all fall apart. Before we start, I want requests. We put our best efforts to create every single video, so do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Number 1. Venezuela. Venezuela, once the wealthiest country in South America, now a place where hyperinflation has made even a loaf of bread a luxury. Think about this. Prices rose by over 200,000% in 1 year alone. Imagine paying for a coffee today and seeing it cost double tomorrow. Why did it happen? Rampant corruption, crumbling infrastructure, and a failing oil industry, a trifecta of disaster. It's a sad, cautionary tale that shows how wealth alone can't save a country when its leaders fail it. Could you imagine waking up to find your paycheck worth half as much every day? Venezuela's citizens don't have to imagine, they live it. Number 2. Lebanon. Now we head to Lebanon, a country famous for its cultural richness, and now its instability. Lebanon's economy has spiraled out of control, with its currency plummeting by 90%. Picture this. You go to the bank to withdraw your life savings, only to be told you can't access it. Banks are closing, riots erupt, and people are even robbing banks just to access their own money. The financial meltdown, coupled with political gridlock, has Lebanon teetering on the edge of complete collapse. Imagine robbing a bank for your own cash. What a plot twist, right? Number 3. Syria. Syria's story is one of heartbreak. After a decade of war, the nation's infrastructure is in ruins. Hospitals, schools, roads, destroyed. Millions have fled, creating one of the worst refugee crises in modern history. But here's the shocking part. It's not just war that's collapsing Syria. A crushing economic crisis and lack of resources are fueling the downfall. Picture a country where even basic necessities like bread and fuel are unaffordable luxury. This tragic domino effect shows us how a conflict can ripple across generations. Speaking of crises and scarcity, let's jump to another nation on the brink. Number 4. Yemen. Yemen is a country that has endured relentless conflict, leading to one of the most severe humanitarian crises in the world. Over 24 million Yemenis require humanitarian assistance. Hospitals lack supplies, children suffer from malnutrition, and clean water is a rarity. What's tearing Yemen apart? Political instability, regional interference, and a war that never seems to end. Yemen's story is one that shows the dark side of neglect and the price paid by ordinary people. Picture living in a place where water is more precious than gold. For Yemenis, that's no metaphor, it's reality. Number 5. Haiti. Let's head to the Caribbean, to Haiti, a nation that's known heartbreakingly for its relentless hardships. Natural disasters, political instability, and crippling poverty have combined to push Haiti to its limits. When the 2010 earthquake hit, it destroyed much of Port-au-Prince, and the country has struggled to rebuild ever since. Corruption and violence fuel the collapse, with citizens losing trust in any form of governance. Haiti reminds us how even beautiful, resilient places can suffer when the foundation crumbles. Our next country faces a different kind of collapse, one triggered by sheer population pressure. Number 6. South Sudan. South Sudan, one of the world's newest countries, is also among the most fragile. Decades of civil war preceded its independence, and since then, it's faced internal conflict, poverty, and ethnic violence. Imagine trying to build a new nation from scratch, with no infrastructure and constant turmoil. South Sudan's economy is practically non-existent, and poverty is rampant. It's a stark reminder of how creating a country is far easier than sustaining one. South Sudan's struggles make you wonder if new beginnings are truly a fresh start. Number 7. Myanmar. Myanmar's story took a dark turn in 2021, with a military coup that threw the country into chaos. Citizens lost their freedoms overnight, and violence escalated as protests erupted. The country's economy took a nosedive, and its people are caught in the grip of authoritarian rule. Myanmar's collapse shows how quickly freedoms can disappear and how fragile democracy can be. From Asia, we travel to Africa to witness the downfall of another promising nation. Number 8. Zimbabwe. Once known as the breadbasket of Africa, Zimbabwe's economy has now crumbled to dust. Hyperinflation reached astronomical levels, leaving citizens with worthless currency. Imagine carrying a wheelbarrow of cash just to buy basic groceries. Land reforms, poor governance, and economic mismanagement turned Zimbabwe from an agricultural powerhouse into a place of scarcity and struggle. It's a haunting picture of how policy decisions can uproot an entire economy. Forget your wallet. You'd need a suitcase of cash to shop here. Number 9. Afghanistan. With the recent change in power, Afghanistan faces an uncertain future. Economic collapse, political repression, and severe humanitarian challenges plague the nation. Millions are left struggling for survival as international aid dwindles. For many Afghans, the future looks like a struggle for basic survival, not progress. Afghanistan's tragedy reminds us how years of conflict and instability can strip a country of hope and opportunity. And now, to wrap up our list, let's examine a country whose troubles stem from an ongoing internal crisis. Number 10. Ethiopia. Ethiopia, one of Africa's oldest nations, has seen recent prosperity overshadowed by civil conflict and ethnic violence. The Tigray conflict has created humanitarian crises, displacing millions. Once a symbol of hope and development in Africa, Ethiopia now faces a devastating crisis. Ethnic tensions and war are tearing it apart, proving that even a country with rich history and potential fall apart under the weight of internal conflict. As we close this list, the question remains, can any of these countries find a way back? These stories aren't just about nations, they're about people, families, and futures caught in the storm of collapse. Some countries on this list may find a way to stable, but for others, the road ahead is bleak. These tales remind us of the resilience of people and the fragility of nations. They show us how every country is a delicate balance, and that maintaining it requires trust, stability, and hope. So, let's remember these stories and carry forward the lesson. No nation is immune to collapse, and no one should ever take stability for granted. Thank you for watching. Which story shocked you the most? Leave a comment below, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the world's toughest challenges.